And welcome to Capital Talk, a program we hope will have an impact on the future of Kenya. Now, more than ever, I'm Jeff Koinange. Now, if you've been watching Capital Talk all this week, you know the theme, the Black T-shirt Week, Kenyans for Kenya, this initiative that's taken the country by storm. And on the bench today, folks, two amazing women. The first one, when she wore this T-shirt on TV, I tell you, it was a statement. And we said, why not just follow suit? Because why lie? Everybody watches Sunday Live on Sunday evening. She is the talk of the town. She's smart, she's brilliant, she's compassionate, a mother, a wife, an award-winning journalist, anchor. And yes, she has her own fan club on Twitter called Team Julie. Good grief, can't make this stuff up. And she's on the bench because you've all been demanding she comes on. It's only fair. Sit back. Julie Gichuru.
Oh my goodness. Hi, Jeff. How are you?
Why lie? You're a superstar.
I have never been introduced like that anywhere.
Are you blushing?
Ever.
Are you blushing, Julie?
I can't believe it. Thank you very much.
Well done.
I'm like, who's that girl? I want to meet her.
Well done, Julie. I mean, and the way you guys have embraced this story is incredible.
Us guys.
Yes, yes. And in particular, look, let's face it, that week that Citizen TV had that graphic throughout the broadcast. One side the president, the other side the prime minister. That was a message in itself.
It was. We had an editorial meeting and we had the stories. We'd been covering the stories, you know, the infant graves of Dadaab, you know, the hunger around the country. And we sat in that editorial meeting and said, look, it's not just about telling the story. This is a crisis. And what we're going to do is say it's a crisis. So the editorial team, and we're led by Washira Waruru, coach, yeah, and all our editors, we sat there and we mapped out what we needed to do, and we said it's going to be a critical response to wake the country up and say this is not business as usual. This is not just some normal thing. Let's pay attention. Yeah.
And let's not kid ourselves, Julie. We have made that statement. Not just we in the media, corporate Kenya, ordinary Kenyans sending those 10 shillings, 20 shillings, you know, on the M-Pesa. It's been incredible the way this initiative has grown legs.
I'm so proud of Kenyans, Jeff. I can't tell you how it feels to see us come together like this. And to know this is, this spirit, it's not something you get often. Yeah. It's historic in this continent. Irungu, who was with you yesterday, Horton, yes.
Oxfam.
Absolutely, you know, and he says, listen, Africa has never before raised this kind of money within itself for any initiative. And this is coming from the grass, it's not government funded, it's coming from the people. So I think we're setting a pace for the continent that it's amazing, it's positive, it's...
Absolutely. And the other thing you keep emphasizing is the fact that this initiative has also brought this country together. I mean, not since the post-election violence in which, you know, the country was forced to come together. This time, it was for a good cause, a feel-good cause.
And you know, what's so important about that, Jeff, is, you know, we've always gone with this whole thing of politicians go there, you know, and we kind of vote them in to represent our own interests. And we've got all these politicians, the top 3 candidates in office right now, and yet these things are happening across the country. So mainly northern, eastern, of course, you know. Yep. But the question is, have we always been as divided as we think we are? Are we as tribal as we think we are? And we may be tribal, but guess what? And what's amazing is we love Kenya. Doesn't matter what tribe you come from. One thing that does unite us is we love our country. We really are passionate about our country. And now we have proven that we are passionate about each other and about humanity. That means we can overcome all the hurdles that we've had.
But my biggest fear, Julie, is, you know, we can't feel good for this moment. And then, because we have such a short attention span, 2, 3, 4 weeks, a month from now, a year from now, when we have elections, we might just go back there. Is it important that we maintain this momentum?
It's really important. And I think what we need to, and I think this is a challenge to us, to the organizing committee, is this cannot end having given people food and then we find ourselves here again. Yeah. What that will do is create hopelessness. That look, we can never come out of this, so why bother anymore? What we must ensure happens is that there are sustainable solutions. That as we see that we have transformed the lives of people who are really at death's door, the rest of the country will be inspired, and each of us will say, we can do better, we can climb, and we can help each other climb. And guess what? When you have a market in Turkana,
full of veggies and fruits and stuff.
You know, and you can actually access that market. You reach another 500,000 to 1 million people across that county or across several counties up there. I mean, that's amazing. Just living around the lake, I think we've got about 500,000 people. So that's a market. Let's feed them and let's sell them airtime. Let's sell them, you know, fruits. Let's sell them. Yeah. So let's all, when we go up, yeah. When our neighbors go up, we rise with them. When we rise, our neighbors also have opportunities, you know. So that's amazing.
This gives us a lot of hope, doesn't it, for the future?
I think it does. And you know, I know there's the whole thing. The skepticism should not be ignored. You know, the skeptics and the cynics should not be ignored. We need to pay attention to the issues that we still need to resolve. What kind of politics do we have? How do we move politics away from the ethnic-based, nature of politics that we've had, to ideology? You know, to what are you going to deliver for me in my county? You want to be county governor? Don't really care which clan, which tribe you come from. I want to know, what do you believe in?
What do you bring into the table?
Right. What's your track record? What have you done previously, and what's your capacity? And the minute we start thinking that way, you never know. Kamkunji, of course,
exactly.
Now going to. So what are you guys in Kamkunji thinking about as you're voting? I wonder. Yeah.
It's a litmus test, right? And you know, look, it gives a lot of hope that Kenya is changing, isn't it? Yeah. Isn't it?
Do you feel it?
I do. I do. And this initiative makes me feel it even more. You know, when you talk, I get goosebumps because I feel we are turning a corner.
We are, and you know, it's amazing because I think we're in the thick of it. It's like being in the eye of a storm, and it's, you know, there's all this madness around you, but you can't feel it somehow. But that madness is happening. The transformation is happening at an incredible pace. What we're seeing happening in our judiciary is so significant towards establishing an equitable, a fair and a just society. We're shaping our politicians up. This initiative, even though some people might want to say we're not interested, doesn't affect us, it is going to shape up the nature of politics in this country. And it's an amazing time to be a Kenyan. That doesn't mean it's going to be easy. But hey, it's amazing. Yeah. We have a lot we need to deliver for this country, and we just have to all as Kenyans rise up and try to play our role, whatever that might be.
Overall, media coverage of this whole catastrophe, this famine and the drought, has it been pretty decent?
I think we were a bit late. You know, I want to be honest. Yeah. We're a bit late. There are many reasons for that. For some people, it's resources and capacity to cover areas out there. Maybe you don't have enough correspondence. You're not, you know. Sometimes it's politics that takes a lot of the attention, you know. But when we woke up, yes, it's been amazing. You know, we've all come together as media houses, you know, competition aside, saying, you know, we need to do what we do. And that's another amazing thing about us.
Absolutely.
As
Despite
Kenyans,
all the competition.
Yes, that you know, you're able to say all that aside.
And the other great thing was the initiative that you and I did. We hosted the last corporate pledge. Yes. It was live on every network.
Yes, it was.
It was live.
And, you know, I think thank you to all the media houses for all the energy. Thank you to every single business that has taken out, not expecting to have to remove this money. But again, most of all, thank you to every Kenyan who is reaching into their pocket and taking out. And that's what I felt last Thursday as we were in that room with the corporates. It was kind of like they were coming on board what the Kenyan public had already started, but it was giving it momentum, and that's wonderful. Of course, there's another one that's happening.
That's right. You're looking forward to that?
Yes, I am.
It's going to be good. We keep up the momentum, right?
Yeah, and
because there are those businesses that say, you know what, we missed the last one, but we want to be on board. Yeah, we want to be on this train, Absolutely. Be part of change.
Absolutely, can't wait for that tomorrow. Yeah.
At the end of the day, look, it took people like Bob and Martin and media owners and, you know, some really good people to rally this cause. I mean, isn't that amazing?
I think it shows that, you know, if you have the right value system, it doesn't matter where you are, you will say, this is my problem. Let's be honest, it's not easy in the corporate world to come out and do something like that, because it almost looks like, you know, you're overstepping a mark. So it's a brave thing to do, to come out and say, we're going to organize this. A lot of people are busy in their own jobs. It takes a lot of time out of the... So, you know, I think it's amazing. And if we focus on values as a nation and say, this is what we believe in, this is, this is the kind of country we want, then we won't get it wrong, because people will rise up and play a role in trying to push those values forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What drives you, Julie? Because everyone, when they describe Julie Gichuru, they say that compassionate journalist. You feel the story. You clearly you detach yourself from the story, but you feel the story. What is it that drives you?
I've always been passionate. I've always been passionate about things. I think it's love. I think it's just at the center of it all, caring, and you can't disconnect yourself from that. So yes, I have, throughout my career heard people say, no, but you can't get, you can't feel. I'm like, no, but I want to feel it. And the day I stop feeling it, there's something wrong with me.
So the day you walk away.
Yes, and I want my audience to feel it too. If I'm creating an audience that is totally, completely disconnected from a story like this one of the hunger, then there's something wrong. So for me, I think it's love, it's passion. That's really the bottom of it.
Yeah. And Sunday Live.
Yeah.
Kick. You kill that show, don't you?
Oh my God, I love the show. I think it still has a lot of growing to do. There's so much more I'd love to do, including a lot of social media.
Yes.
Actually
being involved
on the show.
Real time.
But I love the show because it's not a news bulletin, Jeff. It's a show. You can break certain boundaries, and it enables us to be human. News is not about being human. Sit down and watch the news. But Sunday Live it's all human.
And when you wore the T-shirt that day, it was a deliberate effort, wasn't it?
Yes, I said tonight. It's about the T-shirt. It's about Kenyans for Kenya. So who wears a T-shirt to anchor Boulevard apart from Jeff too? Yeah. But I was like, today it's the T-shirt.
With me, I said imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
Thank you.
Nice to see you, Julie.
Oh, thank
Keep
you.
it up.
Jeff. Thank
I'm going to see you at the pledge.
Yes.
Let's go make some more money.
Thank
Let's
you.
reach that target of
Thank
$1
you.
billion, right?
We will. We
Well
will
done.
with the Kenyans.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Wow.
Bless you.
Not just a pretty face, folks. Beauty and brains on the bench. Julie Gichuru, I tell you, you were right. Compassionate. She loves the story. And yes, she loves this country just as well as the next person. Whoa! Kenyans for Kenya, folks. This is us coming together to raise $1 billion shillings to save our starving brothers and sisters. Coming up, the woman who moved the nation to tears with her songs and with her pledge. Wahu! Good grief! Don't touch that dial, please! The bench is back in a moment. And welcome back to Capital Talk. What a week it's turning out to be, and it's only midweek. I tell you, my next guest, when she got on the podium a couple of weeks ago at the corporate pledge and literally brought a nation to tears because she's a mother. She knows the pain, and she hates to see people starve and suffer the way they are in northern Kenya. To add to that, she literally just came back from northern Kenya, spent the whole day Tuesday with her husband, Nameless. And I tell you, we want to get her thoughts because I tell you, it's something you and I and everyone you know do not want to experience. She's an award-winning artist, musician. She's an amazing woman. And yes, she is part of this whole Kenyans for Kenya initiative because a group of them put together a song called Kilio, which has become the national anthem, literally, for this initiative. Sit back, folks. Yes, indeed. Wahu Kagwe.
What's up, Jeff?
What's up, Wahu?
How you
Nice
doing?
to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Thanks for making it, Wahu, because I know you guys have had a really busy schedule.
Yeah.
And you came back from the epicenter, didn't you? Ground zero.
I did yesterday. We spent the whole day
Yeah.
up north. Me and my husband. We just wanted to see for ourselves firsthand what the situation is like
And
out there. And I tell you, I think. We see these things, we see the images every day, you know what I'm saying? But I think being there literally, physically, and seeing what's happening firsthand for yourself, it's a very, I don't even know what to call it, because you're like, you see human beings like you see, I think for me the image that stood out the most was men our fathers' ages, men who should be holding themselves up with dignity, especially because of the kind of culture that they come from. They should be, they walk with their heads up high. literally reduced to a situation where they feel like they're at somebody else's mercy because they need the bare necessities. They need food to survive, you know. And I think for me that loss of dignity, it was very heart-wrenching for me. Very, you know.
I mean, you're probably thinking, is this really Kenya?
That was the thing. I could not believe it. I could not believe that we were in Kenya. We were actually in Kenya, in places where you look and you're like, first of all, even for the people who want to help to take the food, you know, there's no infrastructure, Jeff. We got stuck a couple of times yesterday just trying to access. We were going to Lokichar from Lodwar, and you know, it had rained. There were the flash floods, and it had rained, and our car got stuck severally along the road. And you're thinking, we are on the main road. So even when people want to help, you know, you're like, these are things that should have been there already in place. And I'm like, what issues are we then talking about as a country? You know, if people are in a situation where they can't access the help that they need, you know?
Yeah.
So
it makes you wonder, did someone get their priorities wrong? You know
this is the question. Yeah. This is the question.
Our priorities are twisted.
What are we talking about? What are we talking about if you know, if people are not in a situation, you know, like they're not in a situation to enjoy what it is that we're enjoying, even half, even a quarter of what it is that we're enjoying, then somebody really got the priorities wrong.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. And then the politicians go up there, they only go like once every 4 years, they can campaign and get votes, and then they never go back again until another 4 years.
That's the saddest thing. And I think us as a people, Jeff, I think as Kenyans, we really, really need to hold our leaders accountable. You know, right now we don't really want to point fingers and say you and whatever, yeah. But I think, you know, one of the things that we need to do is not just hold our leaders accountable at the end of the day and, you know, just before their next elections. It needs to be a continuous process. You said that A, B, C, D is going to be in place. Where are we now? What's the progress? You know, these are our leaders. You know, they work for Kenya. Correct. You know, and like I said, I don't want to play the blame game right now. Right now, what it is about trying to salvage the situation for now. But as I'm saying, holding our leaders accountable, we need to start knowing what we're going to do to make sure this does not happen again. Yeah. Because it shouldn't be happening, Jeff.
And the worst part is, you know, that man you talked about who has lost his dignity, imagine, will he ever get it back?
That's the thing.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Will his children ever look up to him? Because our father couldn't provide for us.
Yeah. You know, it's a shame. It really is a shame because I don't know how to put it, Jeff, but something needs to be done. And I know we keep saying something needs to be done, and you know, at this point, what it is that we need to be our brother's keeper, you know, instead of, yes, it's upsetting that this is happening. Yes, it's undeniably unacceptable and it's upsetting to everybody, Kenyans, our neighbors, the whole world, you know. But in all that, we need to look and see, what can we do? What is it that we can do to make sure that at least, you know, these people get their basic necessities, you know?
Isn't it amazing that Kenyans did respond to the whole initiative? You know, the 10 shillings, 20 shillings, 50 shillings, 100 shillings. Can you imagine those guys who were sending?
I'm telling you.
It tells you something, doesn't it?
It tells you that Kenyans, we, in essence, we have big hearts. We have big hearts, and I really just want to applaud everybody who has given so far. You know, for you to look and say, man, that's somebody's child, that's somebody's mother, that's somebody's father, you know, and just give the way we give. Jeff, in such a short time, we've been able to raise 650 million.
Imagine that.
Kenya shillings.
Kenya shillings.
You know?
Yeah.
It's something.
And that target of 1 billion Wahu is reachable.
It is so reachable. We're just literally, we can see it.
We can see it.
Absolutely, yeah.
And the good thing is there's a corporate pledge on Thursday, and then you guys have a huge concert on the 27th.
Exactly. We have this artists, Kenyan artists have literally just come together and said, you know what, as individuals, you know, everybody is doing whatever they can, you know, with their fan base, on their, you know, just promoting Kenyans for Kenya. You know, I see a lot of activity on very many musicians' pages, just telling people, man, give, don't forget to give, you know. And what we're doing on the 27th is coming together as Kenyan musicians and saying we're gonna throw a concert. No one is getting any pay, you know. We're doing this as Kenyans, and every shilling that comes in from that, all proceeds are going to go towards Kenyans for Kenya. You know,
This is like the We Are the World of 1984, right?
this is like the We Are the World
Yes.
of 1984. It's unfortunate that we have to do it, but we are doing it, and I just want to urge everybody to come out on the 27th.
Uhuru Park.
Uhuru Park, it's gonna be big. Anyone who's got is gonna be there, and you know, we're doing this for Kenya. We are doing this for our brothers and sisters.
Absolutely. When you look at this initiative, Wahu, when you see the way the Kenyans have come together, does it make you feel that Kenya has changed or is changing?
Absolutely, Jeff. I think, you know, I've always believed in the good that people have. Like, we are not essentially bad or we're not evil, we're not born evil, we're not born corrupt, we're not born with all these things, you know. And what this has done, if anything, is to show us, it's tapped into our humaneness, you know, it's tapped into our humaneness and shown that we can not only come together as Kenyans, we can make changes as a people, we can save lives. And what would be nice to see is this same spirit of togetherness going on and being spread and saying, okay, fine, we are saving lives today. We're gonna make sure that this situation does not happen again. We're gonna do what it is in our, because at the end of the day, this is our country. It's not so-and-so's country and so-and-so's country. So pointing fingers, you know, we can do that all day. We can play the blame game all day. But at the end of the day, Jeff, it's your kids, my kids, who are going to come up later on and say, Dad,
What were you guys?
what were you guys? What were you guys doing apart from blaming the government and doing, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. When you and Nameless were up there yesterday, and obviously you took some food and supplies with you, right?
Yes.
What was it? What was the reception like?
The reception was amazing. It was, I think for me, you know, you look at people and you're told people have been walking from, you know, we got there at around, say, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're told people have been walking from 8 in the morning to come to the center to see if they can get a packet of unga.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, I'm like, first of all, two things went through my mind. First thing is like, what then do we who are fortunate enough to have 3 meals a day, who, you know, have the essentials of life, you know, what are we complaining about? This woman woke up early in the morning. She's not even thinking about other things. I mean, she can't even bring herself to think about education at that point. It's my children need to eat, you know. She woke up that early to make sure she's there on time to get a packet of unga, and she has to walk all the way back, you know. And
that's just for one day.
And that's just for one day.
And there's no guarantee.
There's no guarantee. Unfortunately, at some point we had to stop, and it's the hardest thing to have to stop at that point, because you're thinking, you know, just the way things were laid out, we have to go back home, and you know, the next person on the line has to be told, I'm sorry, you not today.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, man, and you talk to this person and you're like, why can't we just, let's give her, and you're like, look, there's so many other people and we can't do this today, and the supplies have run out anyway, you know. And you it's, I wish we could all go there and, you know, as Kenyans, and just see for yourself, just, you know, to experience what these people go through, but we can't. And the media have done a fantastic job in highlighting what's happening, and like I said, we need to reach into our humaneness and just imagine that, you know, that is someone else's child. That is a human being just like you, who just needs 250 shillings, by the way, Jeff, 250 shillings can feed a family of 6.
250.
250 shillings can feed a family of 6 for a day, you know. So just look and weigh.
Yeah.
You know, let's look and weigh what do you spend 250 shillings on?
Exactly.
Credit.
Yes.
You know, other things that for you are important. How about this person who the most important thing to them, their life, is weighing on that 250? You know?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be 250 shillings that you're giving. It can be 5 shillings that you're giving. But 5 shillings, 10 shillings will make a 250 somewhere.
It adds up.
It adds up at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So we need to just keep coming through.
Yes.
We have to keep coming
Keep
through.
giving.
We have to keep giving until we reach our target. And like you said, it is so reachable.
It's reachable.
It's so reachable. We thought 500 million was.
Yeah, was fire.
Well, we thought it was far. We raised 500 million in 10 days.
Imagine. So we can go the other
We
5.
can go the other 5. Absolutely. Yeah.
At the end of the day, Wahu, obviously, we have, the rest of us, like you said, the rest of us living normal lives, we have to be grateful for what we have, right? And never complain. Every time you think you have a problem, never complain.
Don't complain, because really, you have your health. You're not going hungry, you know.
Yeah.
Your family is not going hungry. You have access to water. You know, you have access to food. Let's not complain. Let's not complain.
Because they have none of that.
They have none of that. You know, a woman who's trying to breastfeed her child, she's trying to breastfeed her child, and she
has nothing.
She has nothing because she has not been able to eat anything. And I'm like, we need to be grateful first, as us who are able to, access food and, live normal lives, like you said. First, we count our blessings, and then we remember to be our brother's keeper.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well done, Wahu. Can't wait till the 27th.
It's gonna be fire.
Fire.
It's gonna be fire, Jeff.
Can't wait. Well done. Say hi to Nameless.
Thank you. I will, absolutely.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Well done. Good grief. Wahu Kawi on the bench, folks. Breaking it down. Reach into our humaneness. That's the bottom line. And Wahu says, give 10 shillings, give 20. It adds up. 250 shillings a day feeds a family of 6 up north. And yes, every time you think you have problems, you don't. Count your blessings, as my mother once used to say. Name them one by one, and it will surprise you what the Lord has done. That's all I'm quoting from that book anyway. Wow! What a guest. What a show. What a week it's turning out to be. This is the reason why we do this show, folks. It's all about the future of this nation. Wahu, Gichuru, the rest of folks who've been on the bench, up there with the best of the best of the best. And you cannot find them anywhere else but right here on the bench, on the award-winning station, K24, where we are, even in times of reaching into our humaneness, we are still all Kenyan.
All the time.
All Kenyan, all the time. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jeff. It's been a pleasure.
Capital Talk is filmed at Fairmont, the Norfolk.